Hey everyone, my name is Anthony Collins and welcome back to the channel. Now, this video will be different than, the videos that I've made before. This video is a love letter. Now, this will probably be the hardest video I ever make, but I also think it's the most important video that I made, especially for me. Like, I think it's really important that I make this video. So, in today's video, I will be explaining why I love NFR Podcasts. And if you guys, are aware or if you guys have seen, like I did a short um video of why I love NFR Podcasts, but because it was a short, I didn't go as deeper and harder as I wanted to. And there's still a lot more that I wanted to say. And if I keep waiting until another day, I'll just I'll just leave them hanging. I'll leave you guys hanging, and I'll leave myself hanging. So here it is, the first ever love letter video that I made, and I'll probably do more love letters, but we'll see. So if you guys are probably wondering, who is NFR Podcast? Well, it is a podcast that like covers hip hop music and some other genres, but mostly hip hop. They do tier lists, they do brackets, they do you know album reviews and live streams, all that jazz. And you know it was will probably be the best podcast that ever existed on YouTube. And I don't think there's gonna be a better podcast out there. Now, you guys might be wondering, how did I discover NFR Podcast in the first place? Well, um, back in I believe 2022, I was just, scrolling through, some videos on like some Eminem album tier lists, and I discovered the NFR video. Um, every Eminem album ranked from worst to best, and I really loved that video. And ever since then, like I started watching more of their content, and then as it progressed, I became a major fanboy of this podcast. Now, one thing I really appreciate about this podcast, this is probably the most important thing I appreciate about this podcast, is that they've inspired me to become who I am today. Like, like, but because of them, I wanted to, you know, make make these top 10 lists. I wanted to make these um top 5 lists. I wanted to listen to new music that I never heard before. And, you know, way before I even knew about NFR podcast, I had no idea who Freddie Gibbs was. Yeah, I ain't never heard the nigga a day in my life. I never even heard of MF Doom before. I never heard of Vince Staples before. None of them. And, you know, like they also like made me more of a hip hop music head, because beforehand I was into movies. I mean, I still am into movies, but like I wasn't thinking about music like that. So because of them, like inspired me. They made me like go listen to like other, you know, to new albums or new artists that I've never listened to. And yeah, and by the way, they didn't just inspire me music wise and taste making wise. They've also inspired me video making wise. If you see these three videos right here, these are literally um videos that were inspired by NFR Podcast, from my most overrated rappers video, from Kendrick sweeping the Grammys, and to, the most underrated rappers. Like, they gave me an idea of what my past three videos were going to be about. And like, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even be making this channel. This channel would have never even existed if it wasn't for them. And another thing I have to praise about is, you know, their like consistency. If you are aware, that channel posts like, you know, new videos like for the most part every Monday on their main channel. So basically NFR Podcast has two channels. One is their main channel and two is their NFR Plus, their shorts channel where they make mostly shorts and extra content. For the shorts channel, they um, make new videos every Thursday. And with that, they do live streams at night on Thursday. And for the live streams, um, it's basically it's either two like there's three different streams. Like one is like the hot take stream where like there's the chat, like you send your hot takes you have about music, your hottest takes in the chat. But if you super chat them, they're gonna read. They'll most likely read your take. Next is the live stream about, excuse me, about like um new um the most anticipating albums coming on the way. For example, Vultures 1 by Kanye West, which I'll be getting into later. Um we Don't Trust You by Future, and many more, you know what I mean? And Also the award show. Hold on a second. Oh, never mind. I was checking my phone. I was just, that. Yeah, and anyway, also their award show live streams where at the end of every year, like they would um like make live streams, like they would be in suited up. They'll be like those these two are basically like the same thing where like you send in their hot takes to reach your chat. And you know like with the award show one, like they have these categories for best live performer, best album art, best trap album, best rap album, or like best album in general, and so many others. And before the award show, they even covered the categories they would be going over. And like they also talk about like, you know, the Grammys and their picks on like it they thought which album was worthy, which one was warranted, which one was, not deserving to be on the list, etc., etc. And like they've just been really consistent with their uploads, and I really appreciate it for that. And I really appreciate them for that because there's not many um content creators that are consistent with their uploads at all. Like, even for me, like, you guys know very well, if you guys been paying attention, I haven't been consistent at all, and it's mainly my fault because I haven't been, doing like, I haven't been putting in enough work. I getting tired recently. I suffer from a lot of fatigue and brain fog, and like at the time I was just feeling burned out. You know what I mean? So, like, they're really consistent, and even for the, like, say if they didn't upload a video on Monday, they will, most of the times upload videos on Wednesday, just to make up for it. And like on weekends for new albums, if they could, if they ever felt like it, they would first it would be like first thoughts video on like the same day that the album releases, which is Friday, and then on Monday it'll be like the album review, right? And also when it comes to like the audio podcast, they do those every Tuesdays. Now, at first it would throw me off because I'm always used to seeing like NFR Podcast um being seen on camera, but like with them, like you just hear their voices, and you know but as time goes on, it doesn't bother me because when it comes to NFR Podcast and audio podcast, I could tell who's talking because Lou's voice is a lot more deeper than Ant's voice, so I could definitely tell the difference. And another thing I have to compliment them on is like they've proven that, like, even though this NFR podcast is a duo, sometimes like there's more than two guys there. There's Nick. I mean, Nick usually takes care of everything. Like, there's Nick that was shows up from time to time. Even though it's mostly a duo, they proved that like they could carry a podcast solo. Like, eh, for example, it's like if you guys weren't aware, like Ant was in a hospital for the past couple of days. So Lou, it was up to Lou to do these album reviews on his own. And you know what? For what he had to do, I think Lou did a great job. And it showed me that they really do care for the podcast, and they do care about um me. They do care about the fans. Like, I really do appreciate that. And it's not the only time. Like, there was an audio podcast that Lou had to do by himself because Ant was actually feeling sick. Um, there was a Patreon live stream he had to do solo because Ant was away. Even Ant was doing a solo um, album reaction because Lou was gone. Um, and so many others. But like it shows that like they're fully capable of like they can even do things on by themselves if they wanted to. And like they did some and like NFR podcast actually did something different last year where like, they usually would do the Grammy dots, like Lou and Ant would usually do them, but because Ant was gone at the time, Nick had to fill in for Ant um, during that video. So yeah, and another thing I have to compliment them is, is their collaborations. Every single one of their collaborations have all been hits. To like when you're looking at their collaborations with Fantano, when you're looking at their collaborations like with Hive Mind, hell, we even have to look at their interviews with rappers like Corday and Earth Gang. They've never missed on collaborations at all. And because of NFR podcast, I even grew more appreciation with Hive Mind. I still think NFR podcast is still like the better channel overall, but like it just shows you know that NFR podcast can't do no wrong with collaborations. And also they're extremely hilarious. Like when you like every time they beef, it's always funny to watch. Like when it comes to whether if it's their free smokes, whether if it's their like drafts, whether if it's like whatever. Whenever those two beef and go at it at each other on camera, it's always fun to see. Even when it comes to they were even beefing on a trailer they did, advertising their merchandise, which unfortunately I didn't get because I was gonna wait on Christmas. But by the time I was gonna show my mom the merch, they were all sold out. So, but yeah, like they are just always hilarious. And like another thing I had to say is that they've never ran out of ideas at all. Like they've made some videos again, tier list videos of like rap albums, rappers discographies or catalogs. Um, they even do the tier list with guests like Fantano or Hive Mind. Um, they even made, believe it or not, they also made tier lists about rappers' ad-libs, but also the rappers' memes and their quotes. Yeah. So, like, I've just gotten a lot of video ideas that I could choose from, and it wouldn't be the wrong, and they never run out. Like, I never left the NFR podcast being like, oh, damn, that was a lazy ass video. No, I've always you know, I've always go to an NFR video thinking that was a like NFR podcast has never missed on videos at all. People can argue with me all they want. They never missed at all. And even when it comes to briefly they were streaming on Twitch on in 2003, and in 2004 they haven't been they haven't they don't stream on Twitch anymore. And I called Ant the other day, and one of the questions I was asking him is, do they still stream on Twitch? And he said no, because it was getting too much for them, and they just thought it would be a lot better if they just streamed only on YouTube. And you know what? I kind of agree. Like streaming is kind of streaming on Twitch and YouTube is pretty hard. I mean, I haven't tried that, but I'm sure it's pretty hard to do. And it's really I really do believe that you should just do what you need to do first. You know what I mean? And, you know, me and NFR Podcast actually have a lot in common as we think. We both usually have the same take. Me and them usually have the same takes. Like, we have the same thoughts. We have the same takes. You know, Ant was born. Um, Ant was born on the 11th of August. I was born on the 11th of November, but we both were born on digits of November and all that. But there's even an Anthony on the podcast. How crazy is that? My name is Anthony, and there's Anthony on the podcast, and there's Anthony Fantano. That would be a crazy matchup. But I was gonna say something else. What was I gonna say? Um, Hold on, I'm trying to think. You see, I'm going a lot harder. That sometimes I just be forgetting what I have to say. Um, and by the way, when it comes to the influ to my videos, you guys probably are. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. Um, they've came a long way when it came to like how they used to do videos before, cause they used to do just audio podcasts. Now they would shoot a camera in front of themselves, and like they would just show their faces and like talk about music. At first, it used to be in Lou's basement. Now it's in a podcast studio. And by the way, I love the vlogging videos too, where like the Travis concert, the NFR studio tour, even the one for California. I love those I love those like videos as well. And you know, I've said a lot, but like really um the last thing I really want to talk about when it comes regarding NFR podcasts is that they're always nice to me. Now, when it comes to like NFR, like I used to do some Fantano like videos where I was reacting to their shorts. You guys pretty much know that by now. And at first I was really getting bummed out because I was getting a comment saying that I was copying Fantano and then basically trying to give me a hard time. And I had to ask um, both Lou and Ant how did they not let mean comments bother them because they get roasted for their takes all the time. Like Ant has said that he received death threats for not liking Stop Breathing. And you know what? For all the takes they say and for all the shit they get talking to by the comments or by internet people, they don't let him bother them. So I had to ask Lou this question first because me and him, I basically follow these two on Twitter. They both follow me back, but we also follow each other on Instagram as well. So I asked Lou, how does he not let comments get to him? And he said this. Let me find it. Oh, hold on. He says, believe in yourself and be the best version of yourself that you can be. It doesn't matter what others think of you, but what you think of yourself. If you gain the self confidence, you'll stop. If you gain that self confidence, you'll stop caring about what others think of you because you'll be unapologetically you. Comments don't get to me because I'm happy with who I am, and I know that the people closest to me see me for the real me. And you know what? Like, I really appreciated that because like for Lou, he's happy with the person that he is. He never felt like he had to um, change himself for like anybody, whether if it's from whether it's from whether it's from other people, even if it's from Ant or Nick or from any others, even if it was me, even if it was me that I could roast him right now, but he still wouldn't let that change him because he's happy with the person that he is, and I appreciate him for that. And I had to ask Ant that too because, like, sure they may be on the same podcast, but they're both different people at the end of the day, right? So, with that being said, I had to ask him, like, how does he, not let comments get to him, and he did something that was really special. he actually gave me a call. Yes, I actually called him on Instagram. Um, it was on the night. It was on the 19th. I texted that to him, but like I overslept, so I gave him a call on the 21st, and he actually called. And what's really special about that is that he didn't even have to call. He didn't even have to call me. Like he could have just texted to me like Lou usually does, like Lou did right there. But he actually called me, and that shows to me that they're open to communication. Like, and I just like the fact that he actually called me really really warms my heart up, and like I can't believe like you know he would actually care about me that much that he would actually give me a call like that. And I'm just eh, I just don't know what else to say. Oh, and also I wanted to um you know show y'all show y'all this. Um it says it says Anthony, thank you the for your constant support. Enjoy the vinyl. Hold on. Much love, NFR team. Like and like and I've kept that along with this Donda vinyl that I've had with me, and like I kept this letter because I just remember I will always remember the day that NFR wrote this for me. So, and I'm a huge fan of this podcast, so I really kept this. I'll even hang it up on my wall sometime. And you guys might be wondering how did I even win so that was from when I won a vinyl for Vultures, and like and for like Vultures, like for the Donda vinyl. Sorry, I'm just super emotional that I'm just so happy. And like the winner, they said that the winner was me. And like what's even crazier is that you know, like I Odell send in way more donations than I did, and I still won it. And again, I'm just super happy for this podcast, and I like, and I just want to shout out to Ant for putting me on to new music, and he gave me, I gave him a call the other day, and I was like, oh man, like he was asking me, do I love Freddie Gibbs? He was going through the albums that he had in rotation. Freddie was one of them. Like Freddie is an album with Freddie Gibbs, Currency, and The Alchemist, and I listened to that album, and from start to finish, it's pretty much skipless to me. It could be easily a top five Freddie Gibbs album. So I just want to shout out to NFR Podcast for just always showing me just showing me that like I can create, that I can be the best version of me, and they really just show me that like it's okay to be yourself. And you know what? I'm proud to be myself. Like I'm proud of the videos I do, and like even if even if some of my videos don't get that many views, I still make more content because I love to create. You might think that, oh, you just like to ignore us. No, the truth is that I want to make videos. It's just that I got to come up with new ideas. Like video making is really not that easy as people make it out to be. So again, like I just really appreciate this podcast. And an interesting fact is that like me and Lou and Ant were actually born a couple years apart. Those two were born on 2000. I was born in 2005. So I'm a little bit younger than them, but it's okay. Like watching channels, content creators older than me actually um is a good thing because I could actually learn from older creators so I could build my channel to make it bigger than it is. And when it comes to NFR Podcast, um, do I agree with every single take that either Lou, Ant, or even Nick say? Absolutely not. But you know what? That's why I love the podcast because watching a podcast makes me learn more about their takes and, it just makes me learn more about their takes and it just helps me like understand why they feel the way they feel. And like before I just wrap things up, I just want to say that NFR NFR podcast, I love you. Like you've changed my life for the better and you've put me through shitty times. And you know what? I couldn't be more grateful for you for this podcast. I couldn't be grateful for Lou, Ant, Nick, Mark. I couldn't be grateful for any of you guys. So, with that being said, I tip my hat to you. I feel this is probably the first video where I feel like I'm about to oh, here's a tear. I'm about to start crying because I'm just super grateful for this podcast. And like I mean it. I really mean everything I say on this video. I wouldn't even make this video out if I didn't mean it. If I wouldn't say this stuff if I didn't mean it. So I'm just and if you enjoy this video, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly what I'm going to tell you. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss another video from me ever again and to keep up with my weekly uploads. Um, so, and also share this video too. Also share this video as well. Um, so, hey, listen, I've said everything I think I needed to say. Um, I've said everything I needed to say. I finally got what I needed to get off my chest, and it was definitely not an easy thing to do. So, thank you all for watching. My name is Anthony Collins. I'll see you next time. Peace.